Moscow, September. The rain was falling like it had been ordered by a director who needed a dramatic background for a wealthy girl's life. Victoria sat by the window of her 32nd floor office in the city business district, gazing down at the ant-like movement of cars far below. Her mother, Elena Yurievna, was droning in her ear through a Bluetooth earpiece, as usual.
Vika, you are coming to Grandma's birthday this weekend, right? But please, don't show up alone. We're all so worried. A woman your age—
I'm not alone, Mum.
Victoria said coolly. There was a pause.
You're not?
I'm seeing someone.
Another pause, longer this time, heavy with skepticism.
Really?
Really.
Victoria lied effortlessly.
His name is Alexei. He's an actor.
An actor?
Elena nearly choked.
Please tell me not one of those street performers.
Relax. He's well-mannered, educated.
When the call finally ended, Victoria slowly turned toward her laptop. Her reflection in the dark screen was perfect. Sharp cheekbones, minimal makeup, a navy blue power suit. She typed into the search bar, hire boyfriend, actor, Moscow, private, discreet, roleplay. A few listings appeared. She scrolled past the gaudy ones until she found something understated and professional. Alexei, 29. Actor. Need a perfect boyfriend for family events, work functions, or social media? Contract-based, confidential, experienced. Victoria didn't believe in love, but she believed in control, and emotions were not something she allowed into her carefully constructed world. 3 days later, they met at a quiet cafe in Zamoskvorecha. She was 10 minutes early, he was 15 late. When he finally walked in, Victoria's first instinct was annoyance. He was casually dressed in a black hoodie and jeans, like he didn't care about first impressions. But then he smiled and she understood. He didn't need to care. Alexei had the kind of smile that disarmed and distracted, warm, effortless, real. Victoria, he said.
Yes.
He sat opposite her, his movements smooth, confident. He looked around, then leaned in conspiratorially. Before we start, he said, you should know, I don't kiss on the first meeting unless I'm paid triple. She blinked. He grinned. Her lips twitched, almost a smile.
You're funny.
I try. He took out a notebook. So, who am I playing? Victoria handed him a slim folder. Inside was a 6-page document titled Relationship Simulation Agreement. He raised an eyebrow. You're serious?
I don't improvise, she said. I strategize.
He flipped through the pages. His smile faded slightly as he read. 3-week contract, family trip to country estate, daily presence required, no actual intimacy. Payment, 700,000 rubles. Damn, he muttered. For that kind of money, I'll marry you on paper too. She didn't laugh. He looked up. You're not doing this for fun, are you?
I'm doing this for peace and quiet. I don't want my family asking questions. I don't want their matchmaking. I want this over with.
Alexei leaned back, studying her. And you expect me to act like I'm in love with you for 3 weeks?
I expect you to act like the man I would fall in love with. You're not just pretending to be my boyfriend. You're pretending to be the man who understands me, respects me, supports me, without asking for anything in return.
He whistled. Tall order.
You're an actor, aren't you?
Touché, he stood. I'll need half up front. And I want creative freedom. Some improvisation, especially around your family.
No surprises.
Deal, but love, he added, winking, always has surprises. The Lebedev country estate was nestled in a forest just outside Moscow, hidden behind an ornate iron gate and surrounded by perfectly trimmed fir trees. There was a helipad to the left and a grand white columned mansion straight ahead. In the car, Alexei adjusted his tie for the 3rd time. He kept glancing at Victoria, who stared out the window in complete silence. Nervous? He asked.
Me? No. She didn't look at him.
Then why are you gripping the wheel like you're trying to strangle it?
She exhaled and loosened her fingers slowly. Just do everything we rehearsed.
You mean be charming, attentive, modestly devoted, and a little bit in love?
Exactly.
At the gate, they were met by Victoria's mother, Elena Yurievna, pearls around her neck, hair in a flawless blowout.
Alexei,
She exclaimed as if greeting an old friend.
so handsome.
And you must be the legendary mother, Alexei replied smoothly, kissing her hand. Now I see where Victoria gets her elegance. Elena beamed. Victoria rolled her eyes. At dinner, Alexei launched into a fabricated story about their first trip to Sochi, where they realized it wasn't just a game anymore. He looked at Victoria with a faint smile, and to her own surprise, she smiled back. Briefly.
He even remembered my cafe order by the third day, she added, improvising, and I never said a word.
I'm an actor, not blind, Alexei said. Besides, she has this look in her eyes when she really likes something. Victoria felt warmth bloom in her cheeks. He was looking at her, like it was all real. Later that evening on the veranda after the family had scattered, she turned to him coldly.
You overstepped. That part wasn't in the script.
What part exactly? Remembering how you drink your tea? Or noticing how you smile when someone defends a waiter? She said nothing. That's what you call acting? He whispered. Because I'm starting to lose track of what's pretend. By the third week of the contract, Victoria noticed. Alexei was playing his part too well, or maybe he wasn't playing anymore. He started leaving her little notes on her pillow, made her coffee without sugar, just the way she liked it, memorized quotes from her favorite book, The Master and Margarita. None of it was in the agreement. None of it had been instructed.
You don't have to do this, she said one morning, holding a small paper heart with the words, You're worth more than you let yourself feel.
Why not? He shrugged. It doesn't break any rules. I'm just being an attentive boyfriend, in character.
You're starting to blur the lines, Alexei.
He looked at her quietly, for a long time. And you're trying too hard to keep the lines drawn. You're afraid you might actually like it. I'm paid to stay in control, and you're paid to act. Victoria left for the office, thinking that distance might help. It didn't. It only made things worse. She found herself waiting for his messages, breathing in his scent on her scarf, replaying how he looked at her by the bonfire. One night, Alexei brought her a gift, a small oil painting.
Is this me?
Yes, he nodded. Not exactly, I'm no artist, but I tried to paint you the way I see you, when you're not hiding. She didn't know what to say.
Why are you doing this?
Because I feel you, even if you don't want me to.
And if I can't feel the same?
Then I'll hurt, honestly, but at least it'll be real. She turned away. The contract was intact, but something else was breaking, loudly, silently, inside her chest. December 31st. The Lebedev estate was glowing with lights. Waiters slipped through the crowd with silver trays. The air smelled like champagne and tangerines. Everyone was waiting for midnight and something else.
Grandmother expects a ring.
Elena whispered to Victoria.
He's prepared, right?
Of course.
Victoria lied. Alexei knew. Everyone expected a proposal. He was supposed to deliver it. That was the scene. But something changed. When the clock struck midnight, he stood up. May I have a moment of silence? He said, smiling. I have something to say. To the woman who changed my life. The room hushed. Cameras were lifted. Victoria froze. Vika, he began. I've played 100 roles in my life, but with you, I forgot where the stage ends and reality begins. He pulled out a velvet box, but he didn't open it right away. I don't need you to say yes. I just need you to stop hiding. He knelt in front of her. No ring, no lines, just truth. I've fallen in love with you. No paycheck, no contract. Silence. Victoria stood up. In her eyes, not surprise, not joy, but fear.
I can't.
She whispered, and then she walked away, out of the room, through the glittering guests, the music, and the fireworks. Alexei watched her go. He didn't chase her. He just stood there, heart pounding like a curtain call that wouldn't come. The next morning, he packed his things. The contract was over, the role was done, no applause. He returned to his theater, to debt, to a life without her. A week passed. Victoria hid in her Arbat apartment. Phone off, ignored calls. Her mother rang, she didn't pick up. Grandmother cried. Tabloids screamed about the runaway bride, and for the first time in her life, Victoria felt nothing but emptiness. She replayed his words. his voice, his eyes. I fell in love with you. No paycheck, no contract. It wasn't pressure. It wasn't manipulation. It was real. And that terrified her. Her whole life she had built a fortress, made of rules, boundaries, control. And Alexei had stepped in and knocked the gates down with a single look. On the 8th day, she left the apartment, took a cab, went to the theater. He was in rehearsal, small stage, worn-out set. He stood in the middle, reciting Chekhov with dead eyes.
Alexei,
She called. He turned, looked at her, blankly, silently.
I'm not here out of pity
She said.
or guilt. I'm here because I'm done hiding.
No response.
I don't have a script
She continued.
and no plan, just a feeling, and it scares the hell out of me. But if you still know how to act, then act this one last scene with me. No lines, no contract, just us.
He walked toward her. I don't know how to act anymore, he said quietly. Not with you. She looked up at him and smiled, truly for the first time. The next day she broke all her contracts, quit her position at the family company, moved into his tiny, crooked floor apartment flooded with morning light, and for the first time, she lived without a script.